Aero and Marine Tax Professionals is here with Kevin Austin, attorney at law. Kevin, how long have you been associated with Aero and Marine?
I've worked with the Aero Marine people now for about 12 years, probably since their beginning.
And how would you describe what Aero and Marine is and what they do for their clients?
Well, they work with their clients in sales and use tax avoidance planning in the state of California. We used to do that ourselves as attorneys here, but we found ourselves charging our clients way too much for that type of work. And do you really want your attorney nosing around your clients in your airplane's logbook?
Gotcha. Have you worked with other clients like Aero and Marine, or is this the only one?
No, we've worked with other groups that do what Aero Marine does, and it really is our client's choice who they use, but we've never had a problem, and everything's gone swimmingly with Aero and Marine every time we've used them.
Is there anything that stands out that really puts Aero and Marine, at the lead in this industry?
Probably their marketing. But on top of that, they're really good as far as client follow through and keeping on the clients and making sure they get the documents in a timely manner.
Fantastic. So I just have a few questions I listed out to ask, but as we're going along, certainly add in anything you would like to add, because I just want to help our viewers and listeners if they're considering the purchase of an aircraft, or in that case, I guess it would also include luxury vehicles or yachts as well, correct?
Well, we only do aircraft, so that's all I can really comment on.
Okay, fantastic. So who are the important players to work with in making an aircraft purchase if you had a client that was talking to you about that?
Well, the first thing we tell a client is to assemble a good team. And the team leader to start with is going to be their buyer's representative or broker. And they'll help them analyze whether they really need an aircraft. Should they be chartering? Should they buy a fraction, or should they buy a whole aircraft? Help them with what kind of aircraft will they need, what's their payload, what's their range, and they really know somebody like that knows the aircraft's value and can go into the market and find a good technical aircraft. They also need to get their tax accountant involved, whether it be the company or the individual. Their tax accountant is going to play a major role in this aircraft purchase. We'd like them to have an experienced aviation attorney such as Aero Law Group here in Seattle, or really an attorney that knows aviation, not just any attorney, but an attorney that knows aviation. And there's a dozen or so good ones on the West Coast. And then to finalize it, you need a specialist in sales and use tax for your jurisdiction. If you're in Washington, you need somebody that knows Washington taxes. If you're in California, you need somebody that knows California sales and use tax.
Great. Where are my possible cost savings when considering an aircraft purchase? I know there might be a lot, but what are some things to consider here?
Well, one of the problems we face with our clients over the years is our clients are really successful people. And in getting to be successful, they usually take risks. And we have to set our clients down and let them know that in buying an aircraft, the best they're going to do is get what they paid for. There's no reason to take a risk. And there's 5 areas where you can lose serious money. And the first one is lack of planning and ability to focus on what type of aircraft you want to buy. Another is failing to plan for sales and use taxes, because that's real money in the state where you live. You're talking 10% of the price of the airplane in states like Washington and California. But the one we focus on ourselves is the failure to do due diligence on the aircraft, its title, and its seller. We try to dissuade our clients from buying a foreign aircraft, an aircraft with any kind of cloud on title, and only buy from a credible or creditworthy source.
Great. Is there any legal way to avoid sales tax?
Well, it depends on what state you're going to base the aircraft. What state has the best ways to avoid sales and use tax? It's probably going to be California, hands down. And there are legal ways to do it there, and that's why we deal with Aero Marine.
Great. Is there anything that you particularly would want to say, here's what you should never do?
Well, I think you should never take delivery of an aircraft inside the state of California. You should never bring your airplane to the state of Washington. We've got the worst tax regime on the face of the earth, along with the state of Illinois.
Okay.
And never just set up a P.O. box in the state of Oregon and pretend you live there.
Gotcha. And I was going to ask that as well about Nevada. Is it, could you just buy it in Nevada and drive it or fly it over the border?
Well, you could buy it in Nevada, but what people don't realize is that there's actually a tax in Nevada as well. Nevada has a sales and use tax roughly equivalent to the state of California's, but it doesn't have the exemption that California has. When you go to the Nevada website, you look at the first two pages, it talks about how tax friendly they are. There's no income tax, no estate tax, but you turn to page 2 of the website and they talk about a sales and use tax, which applies to aircraft. And they also talk about a property tax, which is worse than the state of California's property tax for many airplanes.
Got it. So then, can I buy an aircraft based in California and move it out of the state and not pay sales tax?
Well, there is an exemption if you never ever want to bring your aircraft back to California. You could buy it in California and fly it away and just don't come back. But every airplane comes back to California. I don't care whose airplane it is, but worldwide, every aircraft seems to make it to California almost every year.
Okay, getcha. Couple other questions. Are you aware of any common mistakes that a do-it-yourself tax filer or even a CPA might make when accounting for their planes or boats, or that, I guess planes in your case?
Common mistakes, there's hundreds of mistakes that they make. The most common ones are trying to do things themselves. And you really need to have professionals in it. You're talking about a high dollar, high value item, and just filling it up with fuel costs thousands and thousands of dollars. So why skimp and save on the administrative, management, and legal issues?
Gotcha. Since we're talking about this, are you aware of any proposed reforms to California tax code? Anything that our viewers and listeners might want to know about? Anything for better, for worse tax situations?
I am not aware of anything current. What we've seen over the years is every couple of years there's some saber rattling by a legislator in California. But California has always maintained a very strong exemption structure, and it's always been a favorable place to own aircraft.
Great. So do you have any final advice to anyone considering the purchase of an aircraft?
Hire the right people, plan ahead, and stay away from foreign airplanes.
Gotcha. And let me just ask you then, how many aircraft purchases have you been involved with in your career or over the years here?
Well, our team at Aero Law Group, we have 6 full-time lawyers right now. We've been involved in the purchase and sale of over 3,000 aircraft in our careers.
Wow. And you advise to use Aero and Marine tax professionals?
We recommend our clients use Aero Marine when they're buying in California, or if they have any kind of a relationship with the state of California as a residence or possibly a place where the aircraft might spend 10% or more of its time.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Kevin, for spending some time with us today and sharing this great information. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much.